The Tiffany Henyard saga is spiraling out of control, and it seems like people won't stop until she's behind bars. But the big question remains: why isn't she in jail yet? Well, hold on, because this story is packed with drama, shady deals, and shocking secrets that have just taken an unexpected turn. Now, even her own lawyer is making moves in a heated board meeting. And trust me, things are getting intense. This wasn't just any ordinary meeting. It was explosive. The very person who was supposed to have her back turned against her, exposing secrets that left everyone in the room completely stunned. And this wasn't some minor leak. These revelations could finally bring Henyard down for good. But despite all of this, one massive question remains: how is she still free? Let's break down this chaotic situation and see how her so-called power could come crashing down. Is her lawyer jumping ship? Or was he never truly on board in the first place? As expected, one dramatic meeting is only leading to even more controversy. This time, it's over a new hire. But here's where things take another shady turn. Mayor Tiffany Henyard made this hire without the board's approval. And tonight, we're learning that this new employee comes with some serious baggage. At this point, there is no doubt that Tiffany Henyard is in deep trouble. So deep that she has now hired not just one, but two high-profile criminal defense attorneys, both of whom have worked on some of the most notorious cases in the country. And let's be honest, having a strong defense is never a bad idea. But if she's truly innocent, why does she need lawyers with reputations like this? One of the attorneys representing Henyard has a history that raises eyebrows. This is the same man who previously defended R. Kelly's former manager, who was accused of some serious crimes, including illicit activity and witness tampering. His defense strategies have always been controversial, with accusations of witness coaching, evidence tampering, and even bribery following him throughout his career. In one of the biggest scandals linked to this attorney, he was actually charged with 21 counts of conspiracy and obstruction of justice in 2015. Prosecutors accused him of manipulating witnesses and engaging in highly unethical behavior across multiple federal cases. Though he managed to walk away without conviction, the damage to his reputation was already done. And outside the courtroom, his actions have been just as questionable. Former clients have accused him of fraud, claiming he took their money and failed to deliver the legal support he promised. His record is filled with complaints from people who felt deceived and misled. But here's where things take an even crazier turn. Henyard's recent decision to bring these defense attorneys to a public meeting backfired spectacularly. Instead of addressing the urgent concerns that needed attention, her lawyers took the stage and went on a full-blown defense campaign for her. And let's just say their statements didn't sit well with many people. Brindley, one of her attorneys, made some bold claims that were quickly criticized for being misleading, if not outright false. He painted Henyard as the only victim in this entire situation, attempting to shift all the blame onto others. One of his most outrageous statements was that trustees had no authority to call meetings, and he also falsely claimed that canceling a meeting required a 10-day notice, something that is simply not true under the Open Meetings Act. But one of his biggest blunders? Trying to justify Henyard's appointment of Keith Freeman as village administrator. According to Brindley, the board was responsible for approving Freeman's appointment, but the receipts say otherwise. Video evidence clearly shows that while a motion for his appointment was made, it was never seconded, meaning it failed. Yet, Henyard went ahead with the appointment anyway, completely ignoring the board's disapproval. And the lies don't stop there. Henyard also falsely claimed that Jason House had no authority to sign checks. but according to both the Cook County Circuit Court and official village rules, House was, in fact, allowed to do so. Rather than addressing the real, pressing issues, Henyard and her team seem to be scrambling to control the narrative. But as more facts come to light, it's becoming harder and harder to ignore the truth. And at this rate, it's only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. As the accusations against Tiffany Henyard continue to pile up, her legal team is scrambling to mount a defense. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Her lawyers seem more focused on deflecting blame than providing any real answers. Riley's claim that Henyard's personal lawyer could stop certain board actions was flat-out misleading because, in reality, only the courts, not Henyard's legal team, have that kind of power. Instead of offering real legal solutions, her attorneys spent more time pointing fingers, raising serious doubts about whether they're truly effective or just playing damage control. Meanwhile, Henyard was nowhere to be seen last week. But even in her absence, Dalton's trustees continued pushing forward. They gathered at the Dalton Fieldhouse to discuss the town's dire financial situation. Among those present was Stanley Brown, a village board member once seen as an ally of Henyard. However, he had recently distanced himself from her, making a dramatic reappearance. Some residents encouraged him to attend, while others warned him against it. But according to Brown, he was there for the people, unlike Henyard, who had attempted to hold her own unauthorized meeting just a week prior. In that questionable meeting, Henyard unilaterally attempted to appoint a new village attorney and administrator without board approval. Trustee Jason House quickly dismissed the meeting as unofficial, making it clear that her appointments held no legal weight. Public criticism is mounting, legal pressure is intensifying, and the village board is proving it can function without her. As Henyard's attorneys scramble to defend her, Dalton's leadership is left in disarray. With each passing day, it becomes harder to ignore the growing speculation. Is Tiffany Henyard's time in office coming to an end? One of the clearest signs of the ongoing chaos came when a regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting had to be canceled due to a lack of quorum. But that didn't stop Henyard. She still showed up and, without approval, went ahead with appointing a new village administrator and attorney. At the heart of the ongoing turmoil is Dalton's worsening financial crisis. Over the past few months, Henyard has found herself at the center of multiple scandals, ranging from alleged financial mismanagement to accusations of personal misconduct. These controversies have shaken public confidence and led many to question whether she's capable of leading the village at all. During a recent trustees' meeting, several critical issues were discussed, including the town's financial struggles and the looming possibility of layoffs. Trustee Jason House raised concerns that another round of staff cuts may be inevitable if the budget shortfall isn't addressed. A major point of contention was a brewing dispute with the village's bank, which had issued a 60-day notice due to discrepancies in authorized signatures. The situation escalated further when Henyard allegedly refused to sign off on multiple checks worth millions of dollars. Amid growing concerns about the misuse of village funds, trustees took action, temporarily suspending reimbursements for travel and meals for elected officials and employees. But financial concerns aren't the only problem. The public is growing, increasingly frustrated with Henyard's leadership, and calls for her removal are getting louder. During the meeting, the board passed several key measures, including a temporary ban on travel and meal reimbursements, changes to check signing, authority, and the approval of 18 business licenses that had been stalled under Henyard's administration. Meanwhile, another major scandal loomed. Deputy Police Chief Les Lacey was facing federal bankruptcy fraud charges, adding yet another layer of controversy to the town's already chaotic governance. Despite the board's efforts to push through, A new firefighter contract set to last until 2027, frustration with Henyard's absence was palpable. Many attendees expressed their outrage, emphasizing how her lack of leadership only made her presence, ironically, more noticeable. At the core of Dalton's crisis is Henyard's handling of village finances. She acknowledged a $2 million budget deficit, but many trustees believe the real number is significantly higher. Accusations of financial mismanagement have been relentless, with critics alleging she has grossly misused public funds, further deepening the village's financial woes. Adding fuel to the fire, Henyard's administration has repeatedly refused to disclose spending records, directly violating state transparency laws. This defiance has only amplified public distrust, as residents and trustees alike demand accountability. Reports suggest that between July and November 2023, Henyard and her administration spent tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on lavish, unnecessary expenses. As scrutiny intensifies and the village board continues to assert its authority, the cracks in Henyard's administration are becoming impossible to ignore. The question now isn't just whether she can survive the growing legal and political storm, but whether Dalton can afford to keep her in office any longer. Tiffany Henyard's administration is facing intense scrutiny over financial mismanagement, legal troubles, and shocking scandals. Lavish spending, including a $220,000 trip to Austin, Texas, and an $85,000 taxpayer-funded event, has outraged residents. Meanwhile, investigations reveal her team charged over $67,000 to township credit cards for luxury travel. Beyond finances, Henyard's inner circle is also under fire. Her top aide, Keith Freeman, faces federal fraud charges, while her administration is embroiled in a civil lawsuit over a disturbing sexual assault allegation. Adding to the chaos, Henyard has hired a notorious defense attorney with a history of defending high-profile criminals, raising more questions about her leadership. As public outrage grows, village trustees are moving to limit her power. Will Henyard be forced out, or is there another twist in this unfolding drama? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for updates.